going back and forth on
that? Nolan. I don't even know, bro. I really don't know. He's either gonna get back on track, but it's a tough one to take on. I mean, he did his thing with Dunkirk, but for it being a history thing, and I know he's not gonna mess up history. Like, if the person's left-handed,
not like Quentin Tarantino, where
he's not gonna go off when it comes
with
to
a flamethrower.
It's gonna be like solid. So, is it interesting enough to stay on track, or is he gonna take some liberties? Everyone's praising it as, like, I saw Downey Jr.'s interview, like amazing telling of the most important man in the world, and I wonder if that prestige is more important than the theatrical experience. I don't know, because sometimes that's enough for Nolan. If he feels like he did what he wanted to do, he don't give a fuck about y'all. That's one of his things.
Is he wrong for that? Is that a bad approach?
I think a master learned the balance of both. I think the Prestige, Inception, like that shit could be boring. Both those things could be very boring, but he balanced it. You know. So Tenet, he didn't give a fuck if we cared about it.
Tenet was great. I love Tenet.
Yeah.
I actually wish he would do a sequel to that. I know I just said one-offs, but I kind of want more. At least one more.
Like maybe the universe, or the same.
You know what? Yeah. Hell, I'll take that too. I
would love that for him to expand on how the universe works, because
get another protagonist.
Yeah, with a name that'd be preferable.
But to that point that you made there, Charles, I don't think, even with a movie like Tenet, I don't think Christopher Nolan is interested in expand. Like, that's not his thing. His thing isn't expanded kind of universes. That's not really his style. It's good. I think that's a good thing that works in his favor, but it could either leave you with one or two things. It could either leave you feeling like you didn't get enough out of it, or feeling like you should get more out of it. This is my take on Christopher Nolan, man, because it's funny. Like, this is one of these recurring conversations that we have here. I think that we've miscasted him as a filmmaker, right? We're projecting him being a blockbuster filmmaker. Like, I think we're projecting that on him. What he really is a guy who makes high budget art movies. Like, that's really what he is to me. From the visual aesthetics to the way that the movies sound, it just so happens that everything is tight and you feel a lot of pressure and tension in what it is that you're watching. Like Dunkirk, Steven Spielberg could have did Dunkirk, and it could have been
a Spielberg Dunkirk would be crazy.
right? And it could have been inspiring. It could have been all of these things that, like, Band of Brothers and
Saving Private Ryan.
Right. It could have been all of those.
What that was, in a way.
Right. I mean, Interstellar. Interstellar could have been done by George Lucas or anyone else, but I mean, look. All right, bad example.
I get what you're trying to say.
Right? Like, Ridley Scott could have did Interstellar. You know what I'm saying? And framed it in a way that was different. I feel that the movies he's making are for an audience, but we want them to be more than what they are.
That's powerful.
We want them to be blockbusters. We want him to be our favorite blockbuster film director in the vein of a Steven Spielberg. But he knows that he ain't Steven Spielberg. And at every turn, he's telling you, I'm not Steven Spielberg.
But the whole point is that he doesn't have to be. He just has to be Prestige Nolan.
Right.
Because Prestige Nolan was That's
Right.
like.
And Charles, I'm right here with you. But after doing the Dark Knight trilogy, can we ever let him go back to that? Can we ever let him go back to being Prestige Nolan that tells these hyper-focused stories about real people? Or does everything now have to be big ideas, big explosions, high budget? You know what I'm saying?
Like, you don't think he's attracted to that shit? He's definitely attracted to that shit. Interstellar. He filmed a black hole, for God's sakes. Who does that? We don't use CGI. We're gonna film the black hole. He loves that shit.
Crash that fucking plane. Crash that plane.
Into that hangar.
He runs to these topics. Dunkirk. 3 perspectives within the time of the. He runs to these things. No one's force feeding him these films.
Right. So what do we?
He runs to Inception. Like, he runs to these high concepts, like, on his own. He runs to Tenet? Like, what the fuck is that?
Right. What could have been James Bond
don't think about it too hard. Just run with it, bro.
That could have been a James Bond movie, if we're being honest.
That could have been a James Bond movie.
Time traveling
he wanted to do a James Bond movie and said, you know what? I like Tenet better. And just made a James Bond movie as Tenet.
So again, like, how do we properly, like, what category are we putting him under? Like, what label are we putting him under there? If we can't figure this out.
He has all the tools to be one of the best filmmakers, like, without question. It's that thing where the purest nature of him overtakes the experience. Like, he films a black hole. He filmed a nuclear explosion, bro. Like, what does that mean to us? What's that gonna mean to us?
How does someone film a nuclear explosion?
They had an explosion contained, and he filmed it. He filmed an explosion for the film. What the fuck? What does that mean to people that don't know quantum physics? Like, we don't know what we're looking at, bro. We don't know what we're looking at. It looks like sparks and fire. It doesn't mean anything to us.
Oh shit!
So it's that purist. I'm filming the black hole. I'm filming the nuclear explosion.
Right.
Does he just like being part of the void?
Yeah, I'm gonna the wave every tick in the interstellar wave is 8 minutes on Earth. Like, what? Like, bro.
$200,000 in crops that they actually sold. That they grew and then sold.
Ran a truck through it. The scene isn't even 5 minutes.
And then they sold the crops after the movie.
Like, that purest nature of him it's too much.
He's starting to sound like French New Wave too much.
So it's too much. It's too much.
The purest that thing, it overtakes everything else.
I wanted to get a real donkey exploding because anything else would not be real.
No, because I get
with the narrative, it's perfect. With the narrative balancing it, but right. It's just like, you know, the purest thing is up there, and then the narrative's like, yeah, well, we're filming the nuclear explosion right now.
Ooh, okay. So is that a trick? Is that a gimmick now?
When it doesn't make him money and nobody seems to get it, respect it, or like it, then yeah.
And that's the thing.
Wait. So I like where this is going here. So let's because now I'm wondering about this here now. Okay, so we get him filming a nuclear explosion. We get him crashing a plane into an actual runway. Mm-hmm. You know, we get crops that have actually been grown just to drive a truck through for a 5-second clip, right? Who appreciates this? How many purists are really out there that are gonna say, damn, I really like that he grew these crops, and then like that's inside baseball. He's not, I don't think he's doing that, like you said, Charles. He's not doing that for the person who's in the theater. He's doing that for himself.
He's a filmmaker's filmmaker.
Oh. That's
He's the
probably
filmmaker. He's like a rapper's rapper. He's the filmmaker's filmmaker. They'll see the frame rates where, the sparks are different than just shooting digital. It won't mean anything. The naked eye to us, it won't mean nothing. He's a filmmaker's filmmaker.
Oh shit! So what does it say about the Nolan army, if there's a such thing as that? I'm sure there is. I'm sure there are people that are gonna die on a hill for Christopher Nolan. But are they actually purists, or are they kind of flexing to be purists because they know other people aren't really in it like that, bro? Because the fan base
strong.
Hey, I'm telling you, like I feel like Christopher Nolan is the guy that only listens to vinyl records because he likes to hear the needle scratch on the vinyl record at the exact time.
Yeah.
Never could say no.